President Murmu was elected only for electoral reason. BJP hit back saying the Prime Minister leads the Parliament on behalf of the government, so there's nothing wrong with the decision of him doing the honours. The Congress has also charged that Modi government has repeatedly disrespected propriety, to which BJP again reminded that President is not a member of either house. The Prime Minister is, and therefore the Prime Minister is doing the inauguration. Congress has said that President represents government, opposition and every citizen alike, and therefore should head such an event. The BJP says Congress has a habit of raking up issues where none exist. Remember, Mallikarjun Kharge had also said that President's office has been reduced to mere tokenism under the BJP government. The BJP reminded the Congress that Lok Sabha Speaker himself has extended this invitation to the Prime Minister, so there should be no issue. Barbs aside, is this the first time a PM is inaugurating the Parliament? Well, given that our Parliament is actually pre-independent era, technically the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, will be the first PM to do so when the new building is inaugurated. But there have been annexes and additions to the current Parliament building that have been opened by a Prime Minister in the past and not the President. The BJP has been quick to remind the Congress of its own history. For example, in 1975, Indira Gandhi inaugurated Parliament House Annex. In 1981, in fact, she was also the one who inaugurated the new Maharashtra Assembly building. Now, obviously, she wasn't a member of the Maharashtra Assembly. While in 1987, Rajiv Gandhi, former Prime Minister, was the one who laid the foundation stone for Parliament Library building. So, as I mentioned, not the first time that the Prime Minister is doing the honours, which leads us to a big question for debate number 1 on Plain Speak today. As far as this entire fracas around the new Parliament inauguration event is concerned, is it truly a question of propriety that Congress is raising, or is it mere politics?
The Honourable President, who is the head of the Parliament, should be requested by the government to inaugurate. The Prime Minister, Honourable Prime Minister, has every right to be there. We are only pointing out to what is constitutionally correct.
जहाँ तक मुझे याद आता है 75 में 87 की 15 अगस्त 87 में राजीव जी जब प्रधानमंत्री थे उन्होंने पार्लियामेंट लाइब्रेरी की ये होमवर्क करते नहीं अपना।
Let's go across to our guests joining us. Shazia Almi from the BJP, Arshpreet Khadial from the Congress Party, Saket Gokhale is the TMC spokesperson joining us on the show. Ratan Sharda, author and RSS ideologue, is also RSS researcher, is also with us on the show. Let me begin with Arshpreet first. Arshpreet, I've listed out some instances which the BJP has also reminded the Congress Party of. Not the first time that inaugurations or even the foundation stone laying ceremonies are being done by someone who held the position of the Prime Minister and not the President. Then why is it that the Congress is raising this issue today? You've done it in the past.
Number one, kindly allow me an uninterrupted minute. First and foremost, they have misstated the facts. It was in 1970, it was Mr. V.V. Giri, the then President of India, who had inaugurated the Annex Parliament building. Number two, the Bharatiya Janata Party is doing all of this because of two major reasons. First reason is they have nothing of their own to seek credit upon. Number two, they basically want to grab headlines out of this because they know that their popularity has been sinking and they want to divert attention by doing this from their failures and blunders. Now, the problem here with the Bharatiya Janata Party is they are saying that the president is not a member. Now, first, if they don't know what the definition of the president is, according to the constitution, they should read it. The president in herself is the first citizen of India. She represents the government. She represents the opposition. She represents every single citizen of India alike. And number two, they say that she's not a member. Was Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister, our Prime Minister, a member of all the development projects that he has inaugurated? Was he a member of all the hospitals he has inaugurated? All the expressways he has inaugurated? All the other things he has inaugurated? I mean, the Bharatiya Janata Party falls flat on the ground when it comes to their own logic. Number three, this is not the first time that they have done this. 2 years ago also, when it came to laying down the foundation stone, they did not have the president do it. And you would remember,
but Rajiv Gandhi also did it as far as the library is concerned. Was he not the former Prime Minister? There are visuals of it.
It's a library. It's a library.
Yeah.
See, there's a big difference between the library and it being the Parliament building. This is the new Parliament building. We are doing away with the, British last time.
Precisely. This is the first time in independent India a new Parliament building is being inaugurated. But I'm just saying, as far as precedent goes, it's not that the Prime Minister, the President alone is the one who either lays the foundation or inaugurates such building. That's just the premise. I'm not sure we can compare it to other developmental projects because I'm sure all Prime Ministers in their day have inaugurated such events. Manmohan Singh did it too.
Just one line.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that the first time the biggest construction of Parliament happened in 1970s, it was Mr. V.V. Giri, the then president, who had inaugurated it. I don't understand what issue does the Bharatiya Janata Party have if the president would do it. Let's say
so what is the issue if the president does it? Let me take that pinpointed question to the BJP representative. Why is it that, this is a highly ceremonial event of great historic, relevance? Why should the president not be part of this? Shazia Albi.
So one, it is a very important event, and yes, this is about the new Parliament building, the new building of New India, and which speaks of his democratic legacy. This is the same building, Central Vista program, which was criticized by all of them, and all kinds of falsehoods have now been exposed. It came to light only 3 years back when the falsehood of it, the spend of 20,000 crore, which was a complete lie, was exposed because this building has costed 1,349 crores. It saves 1,000 crores per year. But let's leave that be. So what was the criticism? It is Prime Minister Modi's vanity scheme. Now, if the Lok Sabha Speaker of the House has invited Prime Minister, who has been criticized almost entirely by the entire opposition, who now have egg on their face because all their lies have been exposed. Now, what is the new ruse? Why not the president? The same president whose invitation and before the budget is customary for all parties to attend, how she has been disrespected and insulted when all of opposition got together. The same Congress party refused to even attend and give basic dignity to the office of the president before the budget when there is a customary meeting. So let's not go there. Now the problem is, I can go on. I can talk about Indira Gandhi, I can talk about Rajiv Gandhi, I can talk about Manmohan Singh, who actually inaugurated the Tamil Nadu state legislature on the watch of Indira Gandhi. What was the rationale? Nobody knows. But now to be so petty, first attack the Prime Minister wholly and solely and blame him for this new post-colonial India's building for 1,224 MPs, which saves 1,000 crores every year, and then to be exposed all the lies that were made about it, that it is going to be for
fair enough. Alone. We need not go back into that. Shazia, before I move on, just the pinpointed question, that don't you think that it would have been nice if the president was also, as the head of the first citizen, as the head of the state, if not the government, was also part of this event? Now, I'm not suggesting that there is no precedent to the Prime Minister doing it. Of course, there is a precedent. But I just want to genuinely ask, why not the President also part of this event?
No, I'm sure President will be there. And I want the opposition parties to be there. I want them to celebrate this new temple, all India, shedding the post-colonial legacy, to participate and applaud the work of this government for the first time and say this is something for new India, instead of just nitpicking and being petty completely and irrational and wrong on facts. We don't want to talk about what Indira Gandhi did or what Manmohan Singh did or what Rajiv Gandhi did. I don't want to talk about 99 institutions and 66 government schemes and 55 national parks that were all named after Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi. I don't want to get into that. I really want this to be celebrated. So I don't want to get into this. If you ask me, I will narrate. I will give you so many examples. Ashpreet would not know where to run, because you know
No, fair
our
enough.
country is replete. A modern. But I don't. I really want them to expose the pettiness of their being by actually calling out, BJP for having a prime minister who took all the blame for being the mastermind or the creator of something new in India.
Okay, very quickly, Ashpreet. Very quickly,
10
Ashpreet.
seconds.
Ashpreet,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
quickly.
just 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Shazia, first of all, thank you to you and your government. You said you have spent 1,349 crores. Well, you haven't done it from your pocket, so stop taking credit over that. Number two, you were supposed to do it. It's your duty. Number two,
yeah, but
she said there are precedents that the Prime Minister has inaugurated. Of course there are. But there are precedents that the presidents have inaugurated the parliament buildings as well. We asked you one simple question. What problem do you have if our president would inaugurate it? The Bharatiya Janata Party has no answer to it. Why do you have to make it everything about yourself? Why do you have to always care about your own self-interest?
What is the problem?
Let's think about others.
What is the problem if the Prime Minister does it? The same problem that you have. Our president chosen by BJP, Abul Kalam Azad, our scientist president, the tribal, our first lady tribal leader,
which are bigger than the BJP. There are things which are bigger than the Bharatiya Janata Party. Do not just concentrate on yourself all the time. Think of others as well, is all we are saying.
Who you have insulted.
I just want to say one thing. Somebody who calls colonial legacy, I think the Bharatiya Janata Party has exposed themselves. They just said that the colonial legacy has come.
Okay, one second. Can I just come in? Ashpreet, you asked for 10 seconds. You've gone on and on. If you've asked a question, at least wait so that she can respond. I don't want both of you to be talking at the same time, because neither of you are going to be extremely understandable to the viewer. In any case, now please hold your horses. Let me, Ashpreet, please hold your horses. Let me bring in our other two guests who've not spoken. Let me go across to Saket Gokhale first before I bring in Ratan Sharda as well. Saket, from criticizing the fact that this new parliament building was even being built, to raising a furore because it was COVID and the construction was going on, to quoting numbers which, at that time the Urban Affairs Minister said, we don't know where these numbers have come as far as the cost is concerned. Even till 2 days ago, calling it a vanity project when you were batting for it. By you, I mean the Congress or the government of the time in UPA second term batted for it. To now, raising a question about the Prime Minister inaugurating the event when there are precedents of the similar kind. Is this just hair-splitting, nitpicking and just needless politics? Why can't we all come together and celebrate the occasion?
Sure. First of all, we are not the Congress. So what the Congress said, please don't attribute it to us.
Okay, fair enough.
Congress. Number two, the Urban Affairs Minister is known to be very economical with the truth. For instance, today while rebutting the Congress, he said that the President is the head of state, not the head of government. He should realize, he should read the Constitution of India, where the Council of Ministers is headed by the Prime Minister, whose appointment is done by the President of India. The President of India sits at the head of the table. Article 79 of the Constitution of India says that the Parliament consists of the President and 2 houses of Parliament. The Prime Minister in the Parliament only represents the Treasury benches. That's why we also have a leader of opposition.
Okay.
So it is wrong to say that the Prime Minister represents the entire Parliament, number one. Number two, yes, we are very happy to celebrate it together. But the question is, why is the President not being invited? The BJP spokesperson just now said that the President will be there, hopefully. If the President of India is there, let me again point out protocol to you that in India's order of precedence, the President of India ranks above the Prime Minister. In the presence of the President of India, if the Prime Minister inaugurates the Parliament building, that will be a violation and an undermining of the office of the President of India publicly. Number three, we are talking about, yes, inaugurating the new Parliament building, everybody coming together. Why is the President of India being excluded from this? The BJP then goes on to say, I've seen graphics you've been showing that, the Congress did the same. So is the BJP saying that Congress undermined former presidents and therefore we are going to do the same thing? Then what's the difference between the BJP and the Congress?
But once again, Shazia, before you come in, once again.
Love for our president chosen by our party the first tribal lady president of this country. I'm so happy with the respect shown for the first time by the spokesperson of Congress party and Saket Gokhale. Yes, of course, she was our candidate. Yashwant Sinha was your candidate, Saket and Arshdeep. Do you forget? So thank you very much. Thank you very much for endorsing and showing respect for the first time, which you have never done before.
Okay, fair enough, but let's not get into that. One second. Can I just request our guest? One second. Shazia, one second. Ashpreet, please, I'll come to you. I think we should leave aside what happened as far as the selection of the new president is concerned. And yes, there are instances when she has or her position has been questioned, or certain unwarranted remarks have been made against her by some parties on the opposition side. We have to accept that, but I don't think that's what we're discussing today. Saket, before I move on, before I give Shazia the opportunity to respond, I just want to ask very quickly. You are saying, why is the BJP quoting what happened in the past? I think that the instances from the past is important because several people in today's day and age, born after 1970s, may not even remember that something like this has happened, or they may not know. When the Congress today suggests that, oh, this is such a grave breach of protocol, they must remember their history. Now, if you're saying that the Congress and the BJP should be different on this, are you accepting that when Indira Gandhi inaugurated an annex building, or when Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi inaugurated a library building, that was insult to the president's post?
Again, you're being inconvenient with the facts. Indira Gandhi inaugurated the building for which the foundation was laid by President V.V. Giri. Also, Rajiv Gandhi laid the foundation of the Parliament building. The building was inaugurated by then President K.R.
So what's the difference today?
No. Let's state the facts as they are. The Parliament building, the foundation was led by Rajiv Gandhi. The building was inaugurated by K.R. Narayanan.
But both foundation stone laying and inaugurations have happened at the hands of the Prime Minister. That's the precedent I'm citing.
Look, what we are saying is, the foundation was not laid in the hands of the President. We are saying at least the inauguration be done by the President.
Saket, try very hard. Try as hard as you may. Try as hard as you may. I just realized now you become the TMC spokesperson, so I wasn't aware of that. Try as hard as you may. You can't run down the fact that it was the Congress party, your old party, that actually recommended the need for a new building. Post which there was a barrage of criticism, all based on falsehood, until the lies were exposed. That it was indeed the Congress party which wanted, and there was a need for the new parliament, that there were lies made, and who was the criticism aimed at? The Prime Minister. Now the Prime Minister is inaugurating, now you have to why not the President? It is criticism for criticism's sake. You know it, I know it, all right,
one second. Saket, I'll give you an opportunity because when you're speaking over each other, your audio is not clear. I'll try and give you one more opportunity. Let me bring in Ratan Sharda as well. Ratan Sharda, you know, there are many such instances that have happened in recent past. The moment the Congress tries to corner the BJP government, the Narendra Modi-led government, you know, this is the first time the BJP has had 2 consecutive tenures at the centre, the longest run the BJP has ever had in governance at the centre. You know, there are always skeletons or at least remnants from the Congress's closet past that come out. And this has become one of those instances. You know, every time the Congress raises a hue and cry some issue, what we learn from historical lessons is this happened during their time as well. So what face do you think the Congress has to raise an objection today? Or is it just needless politics?
Well, Shivani, from where does all this opposition come? If you go back a little for the last 9 years, show me one particular act of Mr. Modi or one particular bill of BJP which has been supported by opposition. Congress especially has been very vitriolic on every occasion, even for farmers bill, which was actually introduced by, was part of manifesto of
in the APMC, they promise in their manifestos they will dissolve the APMCs.
Yes. So, Ashpreet, who has been very vocal, forgets that 445 or nearly 1,000 buildings have been named after building institution, Jhopatpatti buildings have been named after Nehru Gandhi family. Was the money given by the Nehru Gandhi family? No. And they were not even constitutional requirement. We talk of constitutionality. Chhattisgarh new Vidhan Sabha building was inaugurated by Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. They hold no constitutional post at all. How did they inaugurate it? And you talk of respect for the president's post, the decency, I can tell you, Mr. Fakhruddin Al-Ahmad was pulled out of bathroom to sign the emergency ordinance at the dead of the night. And we have Abdul Kalam never allowed to go for the second term because he was from supporter of BJP. We have Rajendra Prasad who was insulted, bullied by Nehru because he went to inaugurate Somnath temple. Minister stopped from going to his going to the last rites of his last rites. That is a record. And you talk of memorials. Sanjay Gandhi has a huge memorial of acres of land in Delhi. He was no constitutional authority. He had no party position. And for them, the acres of land is in block. Prime Minister homes were converted to museums and they were controlled by Nehru Gandhi family. For what?
Okay.
What is the propriety? So they don't talk about propriety and they will keep on speaking because of 70 years, then enough sense they have done, which can be brought out time and again. So
yeah, like I said, they've ruled the country almost uninterrupted for 60 years, and there are too many instances in those 60 years, many of which were virtually opposition-less, where the Congress ruled the roost. And frankly, every time they raise an objection on propriety, even on a propriety issues today, there are too many skeletons in their closet that come tumbling out.
Sonia,
and it's a learning for the
India
present
for 10
generation.
years.
No, Ratan Chadha, I do have a counter question to you. Arshpreet, I'll give you an opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah. Ratan Chadha, Saket raised a point that even if the Congress did it, why should the current BJP government continue it if they claim to be different than the Congress party? Now I ask you, would it not have been better if the president, as the ceremonial head of the state, was the one doing this?
See, there can be no end to why not and what not and why not. See, these are questions anybody can raise. Why did I wear this kind of a jacket today? You can raise a question. Why did you wear black today? You can raise any question on anybody, any action. That is no justification. I am not even going back to why called or not called. That is a prerogative of the government. But for you, these people to raise objections on every issue, whether I wake up from the one side of the bed or other side, whether Modi ji wears this pen or that pen, whether Modi ji inaugurates, why he goes outside, why he holds programs, what the bill, every law has been opposed. And TMC, just a moment, TMC insulted Mr. Dhankar, the governor, every day. Just a moment, Mr. Saket, just tell me, the way you insulted Governor Dhankar in Bengal, does it suit you to talk about constitutionality? How did you treat Dhankar? Tell me, how did you treat Governor Dhankar? Today you talk about constitutionality? You have no shame? You insulted him day and night. You never allowed him to do his job. You stopped him from the road. Today you're talking about constitutionality. You could not respect a governor, my dear friend. You talk of history. You talk of propriety. You talk of decency.
Okay,
the way
let's
you treated governor, the way you treated ministers, the way you treated the election commission, the way you treated NCPR chairman, you talk of constitution. You have no constitution in Bengal. That is the truth.
Okay, Saket, fundamental question is, all of this nick-pricking, hair-splitting, propriety questions don't look nice coming from some of these opposition parties, including yours, as Ratan Chadha is saying, because you don't follow them when it suits you.
We don't follow what? I'm sorry. As far as protocol goes, we have diligently followed protocol. Mr. Sharda is talking about... naming Mr. Sharda.
Let him respond. Ratan Chadha, please let him respond. Otherwise, his audio doesn't become clear. Please let him respond.
You're talking about monuments being named after Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi. I just came from Ahmedabad. There is a stadium named after Narendra Modi. Who named the stadium after himself? Why is the stadium called Narendra Modi? While
they gave Bharat to themselves. They gave Bharat to themselves. One stadium by a private party, and you are very worried. You name hundreds of memorials in the name of people. You gave Bharat Ratna to people who lost war. You gave Bharat Ratna to people.
Okay, I have limited time. Ratan Chadha, please let him respond. I can't hear him when you guys are speaking over each other. Saket, I have 30 seconds, please. I need to give 30 seconds to Arshpreet as well.
As the BJP spokesperson very arrogantly said, that this is a president who was nominated by our party. As if, they have a monopoly on the president. My question is, yes, the presidential candidate, Draupadi Murmu, and later the president of India, was nominated by the NDA. In that case, why are you disrespecting her? I can understand if an opposition candidate had become the president and you disrespected them because you have no respect for the opposition.
Okay.
But this is the candidate nominated by your own party.
Okay, fair enough. Arshpreet, 30 seconds. Shazia, once again, I'll give you an opportunity one by one. Arshpreet, 30 seconds.
Thank you, Shivani. The Bharatiya Janata Party is saying that this is needless politics. So I'd rather say, put an end to this needless politics, be the bigger person, let the president also inaugurate. And if your self-interest comes, first, then at least, we're not saying that only if you're not willing to let the president do it alone, let her do it with you, with the Prime Minister. What problem does the Bharatiya Janata Party have with this as well?
Okay, all right.
Number two, last point.
Yes, very quickly.
the former governor, Mr. Satyapal Malik, had back in the day said that the government was undermining the president's office, is what Mr. Satyapal Malik said. It was words then, and today we can see it.
Okay,
in their
Shazia
actions.
Almi, 30 seconds, please.
I want to say, I have to come in. So first of all, about Satyapal Malik, who enjoyed being the governor for 5 years and continued to be the governor when the incident that he mentions now, which he remembered now 4 years later. Why did he accept to be the governor of Goa and Meghalaya? Why did, when his term ended 3 years later, did he suddenly remember this thing?
Okay.
So he is a viper. All of you are promoting one, and I'm saying it on air. 2, and most importantly, 400 government schemes have been named after Gandhi, Nehru. How many national parks and stadiums? 3rd, and most importantly, 2012, it was the UPA government which presented the proposal and passed it for redevelopment of the parliament. For how much? 3,000 crore. The only reason why there is so much frustration is because it's a new building,
Okay.
a great building which does not smack of any colonial bias, without any corruption. And yes, all the partners, Congress, CMC, have not been able to make any money, and there is something.
All right, I have to leave it at that.
Proud of.
I have to leave it
So
at
let me
that.
just tell you,
I
my
do
dear
thank our
friends,
guests for joining us for our first debate. I'll just leave it on a note. When you do a lot of opposition, sometimes that doesn't even make sense. Even at times when you have legitimate, queries and criticism of the government, sometimes they don't stick because you've cried wolf too many times. I'm moving to our next big story that we're tracking. Delhi Chief Minister and Aam Aadmi Party convener Arvind Kejriwal is meeting opposition leaders to garner support against centre's Delhi Ordinance in Parliament. Today, Kejriwal, along with Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, met West Bengal Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee. On Wednesday, Kejriwal will meet former Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray and NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar. On Sunday, he met Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, and just a day later, Nitish, along with Rahul Gandhi, met Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge. Now, it was initially believed that the Congress will support the Aam Aadmi Party against the Delhi Ordinance by the centre, but they have now clarified that the Grand Old Party has not taken a decision yet. Congress General Secretary K.C. Venugopal said that they will first consult their state units and other like-minded parties on the issue before they firm up their stand. This comes at a time when opposition wants to put up a united front against the BJP in 2024. Now, why has the Congress done so? Congress sources tell us initially the Congress decided to support the Aam Aadmi Party against the ordinance. This could have been another great issue to corner the BJP government on. Later, though, Delhi Congress unit objected to support to the Aam Aadmi Party. In the past, too, the Delhi unit of the Congress has not been in favour of being in truck with the Aam Aadmi Party. This pushback has reportedly prompted Congress leadership to later announce that they have not decided their mind on this issue. The big question we look at here today is that can this Delhi ordinance truly bring opposition together, even as Arvind Kejriwal is certainly attempting to do so?
सब लोग एकजुट हों।
बीजेपी को हराने के लिए 24 से पहले एक बहुत मौका मिल गया। हमारा पार्टी से हम डिसाइड किया है हम ये ऑर्डिनेंस को विरोध करेंगे और हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट का पास हम इसको जस्टिस मांगेंगे।
मैं दीदी का शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूं कि राज्यसभा के अंदर इन्होंने कहा कि हम सपोर्ट करेंगे और मैं समझता हूं कि अगर राज्यसभा में ये बिल गिर जाता है तो ये एक तरह से सेमीफाइनल हो जाएगा 2024 का।
वक्त आने पर यारी तो सब करते हैं मेरे दोस्त, मज़ा तो तब है जब वक्त बदले पर यारी नहीं। इसको अगर कोई प्रतिबिंबित करता है तो वो कांग्रेस और आम आदमी पार्टी का रिश्ता उसको प्रतिबिंबित करता है।
वार्मली हम लोगों को वेलकम किया, इतना प्यार, हमेशा दीदी का प्यार मिलता रहता है हम लोगों को, हमारी बड़ी बहन की तरह है दीदी। जैसे ही हमारी सरकार बनी, इन लोगों ने नोटिफिकेशन, केंद्र सरकार ने नोटिफिकेशन पास करके, एक नोटिफिकेशन, सिंपल नोटिफिकेशन पास करके दिल्ली की चुनी हुई सरकार की सारी पावर्स छीन ली। 8 साल तक दिल्ली के लोगों ने संघर्ष किया। हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट गए, 8 साल के संघर्ष के बाद सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने हमारे पक्ष में ऑर्डर किया, दिल्ली की जनता जीत गई। लेकिन जैसे ही ऑर्डर आया सुप्रीम कोर्ट का, एक हफ्ते के बाद इन्होंने ऑर्डिनेंस लाके जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऑर्डर था उसको उन्होंने पलट दिया। और उस दिन पलटा जिस दिन सुप्रीम कोर्ट वेकेशन पे जा रहा था। इन लोगों ने जिस तरह से डेमोक्रेसी का मजाक बना दिया है कि जहां पे बीजेपी की सरकार नहीं बनती वहां ये एमएलए खरीद के सरकार गिरा देते हैं उस पार्टी की और अपनी बीजेपी की सरकार बना लेते हैं। दूसरा, जहां बीजेपी की सरकार नहीं बनती वहां ये ईडी और सीबीआई को इस्तेमाल करके दूसरी पार्टी के एमएलए को डराते हैं, धमकाते हैं, उनको तोड़ लेते हैं और उनकी सरकार गिरा के बीजेपी की सरकार बना लेते हैं।
देश की जनता को ये देख के अब इस अहंकारी सरकार को हटाना चाहिए। तो एक तो मैं दीदी का शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ कि राज्यसभा के अंदर इन्होंने कहा कि हम सपोर्ट करेंगे, और मैं समझता हूँ कि अगर राज्यसभा में ये बिल गिर जाता है तो ये एक तरह से सेमीफाइनल हो जाएगा 2024 का।
हमारा पार्टी के लिए मैं सब पार्टी को अपील करेंगे कि अगर हर पार्टी हम एक साथ में अपोजिशन हो सकता है, दिस इज द मौका है, तो एक बहुत बड़ा मैसेज जाएगा देश के लिए कि हम बीजेपी को राज्यसभा में हरा सकते हैं, तो ऑर्डिनेंस भी जा सकता है। ये बीजेपी को हराने के लिए 24 से पहले एक बहुत मौका मिल गया। हमारा पार्टी से हम डिसाइड किया है हम ये ऑर्डिनेंस को विरोध करेंगे और हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट का पास हम इसको जस्टिस मांगेंगे।
Let's go across to our guest joining us. Neeti Jain of the Bharatiya Janata Party is with us. Neeti Jain, I'm sure you must have seen the statements that were made by both Mamata Banerjee and Arvind Kejriwal only a short while ago. Arvind Kejriwal is also meeting a lot of other opposition leaders. He believes this can be a semi-final for 2024 if they are able to come together and defeat this ordinance, which will have to be passed by Parliament.
Shivani, I think what the opposition is indulging today is the politics of no agenda, absolutely, because their only agenda is to create a non-BJP front so that they can carry on their corrupt practices like they have been in the past. What are they trying to? Mamta ji said that बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा हमको मिल गया to bring down the BJP. भैया बड़ा मुद्दा क्या है? What is the bada mudda in this matter right now? It is that the Arvind Kejriwal government wants an upper hand on the officers that are in Delhi, so yes, the bureaucracy and the officers, so that all their corruption that is going on, because as soon as the Supreme Court order came in, they started removing the people who were investigating their cases, the corrupt cases, and that is exactly what they're trying to do. Why is Mamata Banerjee joining it is up to her, but probably the same reason. The Congress party, I just read, they have taken a neutral stance. I think their Delhi leaders, including Sandeep Dixit and Ajay Maken, Sandeep Dixit ji has said that Arvind Kejriwal is the maha-corrupt person. So I don't know what does Congress mean by taking a neutral stance on that.
I'm awaiting the Congress spokesperson's arrival, but I think the objection that they're raising, of course, you can make a political charge that the Aam Aadmi Party was on a spree to shunt out bureaucrats who were not suitable to them. But the argument that they're making is that, you know, the Delhi has been fighting this battle for 8 years. They won the battle legally, fair and square in the Supreme Court. And for the centre to then come out with an ordinance, it seems a little underhanded.
Exactly my point, Shivani. Why is it that this battle is going on for 8 years? 20 years before that, even if it was Congress government or the BJP government, there was an understanding and there was never a tussle. Harshvardhan ji yesterday in a press conference has said for 20 years there were no issues. Why is it that Arvind Kejriwal ji is on loggerheads with just about everybody, and the national capital cannot operate if the state government is going to be at loggerheads about every small matter?
Okay, I'll come to that issue in just a bit, because we've discussed that particular, you know, that whole confrontation going on between centre and the Aam Aadmi Party government for a while. Abhishek Dutt of the Congress Party is joining us. Abhishek, explain to me, where does the Congress Party truly stand? Initially, we had several Congress leaders raising objection to the centre's ordinance on constitutional issues or, you know, other issues. And now suddenly KC Venugopal says that we've not made up our mind. Is it because you don't want to be seen supporting the Aam Aadmi Party, or is it because you don't believe that opposing this ordinance is going to be legally sound?
See, every issue has to be looked differently. You can't club all the issues together. Specifically where Delhi issue is concerned, we have to look at this issue in two forms. One is politically, second is the background of all this. In the history of our country, Delhi Chief Minister has never ever got any right for transfers and posting. Right from 1947 till today. Mr. Kejriwal ji is trying to build up a narrative which on ground has never happened before. I don't know whether you have a panelist from Aam Aadmi Party.
We do.
I want to ask them one single question. Any chief minister in the past, whether it was late Sheila Dikshit ji, whether it was Madanlal Khurana ji, whether it was Sahib Singh Verma ji, tell me one instance where transfer postings were under the jurisdiction of the chief minister.
Once again, so you're effectively in favor of this ordinance. You believe that the bureaucracy should stay under, at least partly in control of the LG, and by that, the central government.
Madam, let's not twist each other's word and let's understand the topic that we are discussing. I'm asking you, in the past, has ever there been a chief minister who was responsible and doing transfer postings in Delhi? The answer is no. Arvind Kejriwal ji has never stood with the opposition. Even during the recent ED raids on Sonia ji and Rahul ji, where all political parties came forward to support the Congress on this issue of ED, at that time the Delhi excise liquor scam was not open. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal ji was the only opposition leader who didn't stand with us.
Okay, so
even at the same time, there have been lots of instances.
Okay, all right, fair enough. You're saying two things. I'm not trying to twist your words.
Was the first one to support.
Abhishek, I'm not trying to twist your words, but what you're saying on the ordinance is more in alignment with what the central government is saying today and not the state, the Delhi government. And secondly, you are saying that you didn't support us as far as the ED issue is concerned, so why should we support you? Now, Abhinandita Mathur from the AAP is with us. No, one second, Abhishek. Abhinandita is with us. Let me take your question to her. When is it that any Delhi chief minister has had this right? Why is Arvind Kejriwal fighting for it and acting like he must have it?
Good evening. First of all, I must correct the Congress spokesperson that he is absolutely wrong. It is not that when there is a crisis, a constitutional crisis in the country, Arvind Kejriwal ji has even come out and given a statement supporting Rahul Gandhi ji. So I don't think that he's correct in what he's saying.
Ma'am, can I please comment?
It's not about the parties. It's not about the parties. Give me a moment, Abhishek. It's not about a single party. It's not about one ruling party over another. The crisis at hand today is about the foundation of India. The crisis today, is about the system of justice.
There is no constitutional crisis at all. You have either not read the constitution or you don't understand what the matter is.
Let her finish her opening arguments, then I'll allow interjections. 1 second.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so the crisis at hand is actually more severe. It is more serious than a partisan issue, and that is something that we must all understand and accept today. What is an ordinance? An ordinance is a temporary law that is brought in a circumstances of an emergency or when there is an urgency. Is there any valid explanation, or do you think that anybody watching your show or the people of Delhi or the people of India don't understand the fact that there is really no real emergency here?
Okay, but the central government believes and the
Let me finish a brief point, please.
Yeah.
Let me finish. It has taken the people of Delhi 8 long years to fight this legal battle and finally have, the will of the people come into force. And it took BJP barely like 8 days to reject this, to reject the mandate of the people.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not discussing all of that. The merits of the judgment and of the ordinance we've discussed in the days gone by. But Abhinandita, the bottom line is that you are making this about, I just want to ask you point blank before I let the others in. Arvind Kejriwal is going around wanting to garner support from opposition leaders, but you can't quite stall this without the Congress's support. So how do you see the fact that the Congress doesn't see eye to eye with you on this? And they have their reasons for it. They've got their Delhi unit to take into account.
Can I come in?
Well,
Abhishek, 1 second.
There is something that the Congress spokesperson would like to ask. I think that when there is a real crisis in the country, I do not doubt that either the Congress party or for that matter, even the good people in the BJP will all come together and oppose this very, very draconian ordinance. I don't
Abhishek,
I don't doubt it at all.
Abhishek, now come in, please.
Yes, I want to ask the spokesperson. Transfer posting by Chief Minister. When has it happened in Delhi? Just give me a very straight answer. Just give me a very straight answer. Has it ever happened in Delhi where the Chief Minister of Delhi is doing transfer and posting? The answer is no. Second thing, on July 1st, 2025, all opposition parties, this is, I'm showing the letter on the screen, had signed against the misuse of ED and CBI by BJP. The only opposition party who refused to sign was Mr. Arvind Kejriwal ji. At the same time,
the
when
people
the
of Delhi
three
are watching
Kisan
you today.
Kanun,
The people of Delhi are
Madam, today,
Abhishek
can I complete? See, I didn't interject, na? See, today the situation has changed. 2 of your ministers are in jail because of the Delhi excise scam. Many of your associates of your party are in jail. So you have changed your stand, and this is what we say. Arvind Kejriwal ji he changes his stand according to his political suitability. Tomorrow, your adjustment with Bharatiya Janata Party will change your stand again. Tell me one chief minister in the past who was accountable for transfer and posting. I will withdraw all my comments. Just give me a straight answer. One chief minister.
Look, Abhishek, frankly, okay, I understand what you're saying, but frankly, your questions or my questions or our petty
I'm asking you a simple answer.
Going to matter.
I'm asking you a simple answer.
It's not going to matter. Abhishek, that is not the question. The question, the bigger question,
you know the answer, and you let it twist it.
It is for the Congress party to decide what is the bigger question for them.
Our bigger question is that Arvind Kejriwal ji, our bigger question is very simple. Arvind Kejriwal ji and his party goes to every state where Bharatiya Janata Party wins an election.
Okay.
You go to Goa, BJP wins. You go to Uttarakhand, BJP wins. You go to Gujarat, BJP wins. You're only helping Bharatiya Janata Party.
Okay. Let me come in. Let me give Neeti 30 seconds. Neeti, I think we've got a great example of opposition unity. I say that in jest. Please accept it in that humor. I'm sure, Neeti, you are enjoying it. Both the AAP and the Congress are clearly going at each other.
The first statement that I made, Shivani, that the opposition today is uniting on absolutely no agenda except for an anti-BJP front. And the agendas that they're trying to pick up, they don't see eye to eye on any of the agendas they pick up. They don't see eye to eye on any of the leaders that they pick up. So I think that is where the entire opposition stands today. And I think I'm quite enjoying the bickering that is happening. The Congress is saying that none of this has happened because you cannot let the national capital operate in a loggerhead kind of a situation where the state government and the center government
yes,
don't
but
see
the
eye
Aam
to eye.
Aadmi Party is saying repeatedly, आप बड़ी picture देखिए, आप छोटे matters पे मत अटक जाइए.
Picture है क्या
No,
बड़ी
I think
picture
I
वो तो
will actually
दिखाएं.
respond to Neeti. Give me a moment to respond
I
to
have 10
Neeti.
seconds, Abhinandita.
Right, quickly I'll respond to her. You know, I don't think that anybody in the country is actually buying the BJP's argument about the urgency of this or
Not
whether
only in
this
the country, I think internationally also, if you've seen in the last 3 days.
or whether this
Internationally also, the Indian model is selling. If you are sitting with your eyes closed, that is not a problem.
The judiciary
Madam, you just need to look at the news instead of just Arvind Kejriwal. I think nationally and internationally, the India model today is selling. And that is what we are trying to do.
Okay, one second. All right, one second. I do have to say, one second. On the issue of the urgency, I do have to say here, there have been several complaints from bureaucrats themselves in the manner in which they were being shunted or treated. And I think those are also serious charges against the current Aam Aadmi Party government. You cannot shy away from them. Yes, Abhishek, I'll give you 20 seconds too. But I want to ask you a point-blank question. Is this where the Congress Party is as far as this matter is concerned? Or could there be some room to maneuver, you could rethink in the interest of larger opposition unity, as Abhinandita is saying?
Okay, ma'am, we'll look at a larger opposition unity and we want Arvind Kejriwal ji to give us a very, very clear answer on this. 4 states, I'll give you example with facts and merits. You decide and let your viewers decide. Arvind Kejriwal ji stands for your united opposition. In Uttarakhand, Aam Aadmi Party gets 4% vote. That is the difference for Bharatiya Janata Party to win.
Okay.
They go to Goa, they secure 5% vote. Aam Aadmi Party ensures Bharatiya Janata. Let me complete.
I have limited time, Abhishek. Finish, please, quickly.
After that, they go to Gujarat on 32 seats. They fight to ensure Bharatiya Janata Party wins. if you want to fight Bharatiya Janata Party, then don't come and support them in contesting elections.
Okay, fair enough. I think we got the message.
In Karnataka, you get less than nota.
Okay, I think the message is very clear. Some of the very aggressive expansionist politics of Arvind Kejriwal is coming back to haunt him, specifically as far as the Congress is concerned, because obviously the Congress today is saying that you have hurt us in many state elections. Why should we be concerned with you now? And they've got their Delhi unit to protect as well. In any case, I leave it at that. Very interesting dynamics playing out here in the national capital. We'll track this story very, very closely. I thank our guests for joining us. I have to slip into a very short break. On the other side, the first IPL qualifier is only a few minutes away. On the other side, we'll get you a preview of the Gujarat Titans versus Chennai Super Kings match. Will Gujarat qualify for finals back-to-back, or will Chennai get into the finals for the record 10th time? Stay tuned.
Preparations that are underway. It was a grand welcome that was accorded for Prime Minister Narendra Modi after his very, very successful tour at the Asia-Oceania nations at Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea, and that warmth was perhaps extended when he touched down in Sydney and came from the airport and entered the hotel in Shangri-La Hotel, where he is currently lodged. He's going to have a series of business meetings this morning. There's a guard of honor that's also planned in that must have just gotten over a short while ago. But the focus is this gala reception. 22,000 people will be inside, and nearly 7,000 to 10,000 people are expected to be outside. The activity, the buzz has already started, and I'll get you right into the heart of it. But first, the welcome for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Never before has something like this been done for a nation's leader, and PM Narendra Modi has been able to allow these nations to tide over the disappointment of Joe Biden cancelling his visit to Papua New Guinea. The New Zealand Prime Minister goes there, and I think India has now steered the discourse and perhaps put the spotlight on those nations that were generally passed over. They were those flyover nations which happened, which were never considered as important in the Asia-Oceanic region. But India also now looks at itself as a leader of the global south. That's how exactly India has been wanting to position itself. But more importantly, they get vital support. India gets vital support for backing these nations, voicing the concerns of these nations at the multilateral and multinational platforms. Then it will also get its support at WTO. It will also get the support of these nations at the UN. And that will be significant in taking the cause of the global south and fighting for it. We saw this come to fruition at the previous WTO edition under the Union Minister Piyush Goyal, where across 5 or 6 various points, India was able to enforce and push through certain aspects in the paragraphs, in the way it was worded, way it was written, aspects and concerns of nations like India and other developing nations as far as the water is concerned, use of the waters, maritime trade, maritime fishing, all of these aspects are concerned, even with rice, and of course beyond that, in terms of getting a vaccine waiver and a TRIPS waiver. So that aspects with TRIPS waiver in providing medicine to nations which need it, the concerns of smaller nations, this India has been doing quite well. Let me just quickly go and try and speak with the Indian diaspora, walk across and see if what their opinion is, what their point of view is, and let me quickly ask them. Hi, did you all guys get to meet the Prime Minister?
Yes.
We
are so happy. We are so happy.
You're very happy.
His hand is so soft, and he is so nice to speak to, and it's really great. We love him. We love him.
Yeah, really great.
Jai Modi.
What a Tejas he is. What a Tejas he is. Hardworking man, like coming from Papua New Guinea, tirelessly, with a good look, greeted us with all smile.
Yes.
On behalf of Malayali Association, we welcome the Honorable Prime Minister to our living country here, the man of the powerful India.
We are so blessed to see him.
Very blessed to see him.
Yes.
I did ask Modi the only one thing.
Did the little girl get to sing?
Yeah, she
sang. Where
she sang? Well, she's somewhere. She sang in front of Modi. The one thing I asked Modi was, Modi, we want a land for crematorium because this is happening, and we want a crematorium. Every Indian has to be sent back with respect. So that is not available, and he said he'll look into it, giving a land.
Look into it. So
yes,
given as a simple, something which we think is normal in India is something which is absent here, and you've asked for it.
Yes, exactly.
That's a crematorium.
Yes,
One more thing, he made a point to meet each and everyone from the right to end. That is a very great leadership,
I'm a proud Gujarati coming from Modi's land. So a lot of Gujaratis are here as well.
Lovely. No, I think our friends from the Bora community were also there. I think you also shook hands. The Prime Minister met you guys. Was it good to meet him?
It was a very good pleasure meeting him and shake his hand. Thank you very much.
You said that it's how was it to meet the Prime Minister?
I was very much excited to see him for the second time here in Sydney, and we welcome him, and it is going to be a big day tomorrow with 20,000 people celebrating the...
You got this picture for him?
Yes.
He autographed it? He's autographed it. Oh, can I just show it? So this is a picture of the Prime Minister, and he's actually autographed it.
CSK versus Gujarat Titans. The two sides have entered this qualifier on very different notes. On one side, you've got, of course, Gujarat Titans ruling supreme, getting there with ease. On the other side, of course, CSK hasn't had one of the seasons that they're almost known for, but at least it's an improvement from their last season where they finished 9.
As an MS Dhoni fan, as an Indian cricket fan, as somebody who's loved watching MS Dhoni, loved covering MS Dhoni, I don't want this to be the last dance. Even yesterday we had a show on Cricket Next. I said as much. I don't want this to be the last dance. I have this feeling as well that probably this is not the end. Maybe there's one more season to come, cricketing logic-wise, because it's a 3-year contract. It leaves a big hole. They haven't identified who the successor is going to be. All of that. When and if he leaves the big stage after this season, he's not going to be dropping hints. He's as always, he's going to leave us all befuddled. क्या करने वाले हैं धोनी, क्या करने वाले हैं धोनी, हम सारी बातें करते रह जाएंगे, उन्होंने जो करना है वो करेंगे.
Absolutely. I think that's how he's led his career as well. You never really knew what was coming from MS Dhoni. I remember when he retired, from the Indian team as well. It's not like a lot of us saw coming. Yes, there was obviously a lot of build-up. There was a World Cup before that as well, and we were all talking about it, whether he's going to do it now. When it eventually happened, it shocked everybody because he's known to do things his way, the Mahi way. And nobody can really guess. He doesn't really also like to make a lot of build-up around him. And I think right now he will be focused that he needs to get the Chennai team into the final and ensure that they can lift that title because, that's what the deserving spot of Chennai is. That's where Chennai belongs, or at least its players feel like they belong. We've got, a few of the statements from Mahi as well. So in 2020, definitely not. Still haven't left behind my legacy. 2021, 2022, he said would be unfair to not thank Chennai. So in 2023, this time around, he told people that you've decided it is my last. I think if you needed a statement from Dhoni to figure out one way or the other, I think this is it. And they're facing a team which is emerging as the powerhouse of Indian Premier League now, defending champions. Yeah. Literally everything is firing for Gujarat Titans. They have this swagger that only a side that has that kind of numbers behind them can have. They're led by a captain who's emerging as, the man to watch out for Indian cricket, not just IPL. They've got Gill, they've got Shami, they've got Rashid Khan, they've got all... I could rattle off all their names. So do you feel that even though this match is happening in Chennai, where GT has never played Chennai before, but because GT have also never lost to Chennai in their 3 matches before, do you feel that Gujarat do start as the firm favourites?
Absolutely. I think Gujarat, they are the informed team. They are the in-vogue team. Let's just say that. They're the in-vogue team. You've taken so many names. I think 2 names that you missed out. And I think those 2 names actually, define what GT is. On the one hand, you have Rahul Tewatia. He has this spirit, never say die spirit. When he's at the crease, the match is not over. And it's never over until the last ball. And that's what Gujarat, define when they are on the field, that this is not over until it's over. And that's how they won their games. That's how they won the IPL last year as well. And the other name is Ashish Nehra. A lot of credit has gone to Hardik Pandya, and rightly so. I think he's the future T20 World Cup captain. I want to say T20 World Cup winning captain, but let's leave that for 2024. But the hard work of Ashish Nehra, the thinking, the intensity, the inputs, that also cannot be denied. So it's a wholesome package. You have Mohammad Shami and Rashid Khan who are competing for the purple cap. You have two players, two bowlers, prime bowlers competing for the purple cap. You have one batsman who's gunning for the orange cap. You have a captain who's leading from the front. You have everybody chipping in multiple times. And despite an injury to somebody like Kane Williamson, this team is right at the top. So, like I said, they don't give up and they don't lose. They don't lose when they're supposed to lose. So I think that really defines Gujarat Titans. For me, CSK is not going to be easy in Chennai, but I think Gujarat Titans have their measure.
So now we know the zone that Gill is in, but is that a good thing, Chetan, that so many of the Gujarat Titan runs have come from Gill's bat that literally nobody else is even in the top 20? Or is it just because the others have played a role around him and they've not really needed to do too much? Could it be a problem for them that suddenly if Gill doesn't fire on a day, then, they don't know where to look? Or is it that even the others have actually performed the role that they needed to when Gill is firing?
Even when Shubman Gill hasn't fired this season for Gujarat, the others have come to the party. Hardik has scored half centuries. Vijay Shankar has been batting superbly. Saha has put in the runs. Abhinav Manohar has put in the runs. David Miller, Rashid Khan, Tewatia, all of them have chipped in whenever it's been needed. So Gujarat is not lacking for runs. And you're absolutely right. They have found a formula where they're batting around Shubman Gill. The way he bats, the first half of his innings is always pure timing, running between the wickets. It's when he crosses the 50 mark is the acceleration comes, which reminds me a bit of Rohit Sharma. But having said that, his form actually reminds me of how Virat Kohli was when he was starting his career. When Virat Kohli was at the crease, everything was going right for him. He was winning hearts, left, right, and center. He was scoring runs left, right, center. He was just not stopping scoring runs. And I think Shubman Gill in the last 1.5 years has mirrored what Virat Kohli's start to his career was really. And, you can really see when people call him the prince or the king to be, I think in a way the baton, if not in the IPL, was not passed. Somewhere in the future, it will be passed across all formats.
There will be pressure on Gill arriving into a match like this against a top side like Chennai, knowing that there are high expectations from you, knowing that you have to deliver. So it will be an interesting test for Gill today, exactly how he handles that pressure. But you're right. I think Chennai would maybe devising strategies that, okay, our first step is to get Gill out cheaply. Everything follows from there. Because if he gets going, then he can bat the match out of your reach, regardless of how experienced the Chennai Super Kings may be.
I think as much as Chennai will be worried about, Shubman Gill, Gujarat will also be worried about somebody like Ruturaj Gaikwad and Devon Conway. Conway has been magnificent. He's an all-format player for New Zealand. Because he's from New Zealand, he's not celebrated as much, not talked about as much. But look at his exploits, whether it's in IPL or whether it's in Australia or whether it's in England. He's done superbly across formats. And then Ruturaj Gaikwad, he gets that explosiveness. Ajinkya Rahane, just playing without pressure. Shivam Dube, I think we need to talk about Shivam Dube. The way, he may not play for India again, or he may, we don't know. But when he played for India, he was not this player. This player has been released from some sort of shackles, really.
Are you satisfied that the Congress is in a position, if not to emerge as the single largest party?
Without any support, we will form a government.
The $1 million question, who is going to be Chief Minister?
Why you are worried about the Chief Minister?
Had you not quit, then the numbers would have been very different.
Definitely. Let's bring it up one by one as to what worked for the Congress.
The BJP has 38% vote share, so they are up by 2% from the last time around. Congress has moved up at least about 6 to 7% in vote share.
Out of the 28 sitting MLAs who were dropped, the BJP won only 13.
The Congress kept this election extremely local. There were local leaders focusing on local issues. Bajrang Bali gambit that we have been saying, this led to the consolidation of the Muslim votes, the triangular contest becoming a bipolar contest. Epicenter with me, Maria Shakil. After the Supreme Court gave a boost to the Aam Aadmi Party government in the national capital, giving the election mandate legal backing for delivery of services and control over bureaucrats, the centre's ordinance to effectively nullify the ruling has sparked a political war. The centre's ordinance sets up the National Capital Civil Service Authority, where the Chief Minister will be the sole representative of the elected government. The other members will be the Delhi Chief Secretary and Principal Secretary of the Home Department. The panel has been tasked with giving recommendations to the Lieutenant Governor on matters concerning transfers and vigilance, among others, based on the majority of votes. The central ordinance has to be ratified by Parliament within 6 months. For this, the centre will have to bring a bill in both the Houses of Parliament. Beyond the legal fight over the ordinance, the political fight has pushed the Aam Aadmi Party to seek opposition support. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal met Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar Tejasvi Yadav last week. Today he met West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee seeking the TMC's support. The Aam Aadmi Party convener is also slated to meet Maha Vikas Aghadi leaders such as Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar. But most of these leaders in the opposition camp have for years faced political flack from Kejriwal, who has accused them of corruption. The BJP has called the unity a non-starter, claiming that the political differences between these players are too stark. The big question remains, can the Delhi ordinance storm cement opposition unity? I'm going to take that question to the guests, but before that, a quick wrap.
आप लोग एकजुट हो।
बीजेपी को हराने के लिए 24 से पहले एक बहुत मौका मिल गया। हमारा पार्टी से हम डिसाइड किया है, हम ये ऑर्डिनेंस को विरोध करेंगे और हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट का पास हम इसको जस्टिस मांगेंगे।
मैं दीदी का शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूं कि राज्यसभा के अंदर इन्होंने कहा कि हम सपोर्ट करेंगे, और मैं समझता हूं कि अगर राज्यसभा में ये बिल गिर जाता है तो ये एक तरह से सेमीफाइनल हो जाएगा 2024 का।
वक्त आने पर यारी तो सब करते हैं मेरे दोस्त, मज़ा तो तब है जब वक्त बदले पर यारी नहीं। इसको अगर कोई प्रतिबिंबित करता है तो वो कांग्रेस और आम आदमी पार्टी का रिश्ता उसको प्रतिबिंबित करता है।
Syed Zafar Islam is national spokesperson of the BJP. Jasmine Shah representing the Aam Aadmi Party. We have JP Majumdar, spokesperson of the TMC, and Meeta Chakravarti, spokesperson of the Congress. Meeta, is the Congress standing with the Aam Aadmi Party on this issue? Because the party seems to be giving mixed signals, or should I say confusing signals. On one hand, you say that you will oppose the ordinance. Then you have Mr. Ajay Makhan, who is giving the Aam Aadmi Party lessons on Nehru and Ambedkar. How should we be seeing this?
Okay, good evening to all your viewers. And the answer to your query can be split into two parts. One is the political response, and the other one is about the constitutional standpoint that Congress Party has. Now, if you look at the content of what we are discussing here, yes, we do want to honor the Supreme Court and we do respect the federal structure of our constitution. Having said that, this is not something that is new in Delhi. In past as well, this has been raised time and again. And when you talk about what Mr. Ajay Makhan had said, I mean, if I can give you the number of years, and I think you may not be interested in knowing that, but starting from 1947, from Baba Saheb Ambedkar to 1951, Sardar Patel to Nehruji in 1956 at the time of State Reorganization Act, to Lal Bahadur Shastri 1964 and 1965.
I have read what Mr. Makhan has said. I have read what Mr. Makhan has said. But I'm also reminding
This
you
has
of
been-
what
this
Mr.
has
Kharge
been-
said. So who should we be believing? That when the monsoon session of Parliament happens, will the party be going with the line of the party president? Or will it be, going with the line of what Mr. Ajay Makan has been saying?
Okay, so now I'll come to the political response, but if you let me finish the point that I was trying to make, that this is not something new. This has been discussed and debated time and again, and Delhi being the national capital, it's not like any other union territory or any other state in India. Delhi is as much of a person from Chennai or Bangalore or Bombay or Mumbai or Kolkata as it is of the Delhiites. So that's number one. Number two, we talk about the politics of it now. Yes, we are deliberating that. I think it is amply evident from the tweet of Mr. K.C. Venugopal, our General Secretary, who has made it very clear, and that is the official stand of the Congress Party, that we are taking all views into consideration. We are consulting like-minded parties, we're consulting the state unit, and we will come to a conclusion. We do not like any political confrontation which is unnecessary between the state and the center. Having said that, when Aam Aadmi Party is seeking our support, it is the same Aam Aadmi Party that has actually gone on record and passed a resolution